This video is presentation of GrowLife Inc. GrowLife is a bulletin board listed company trading our ticker PHOT. So look at a 1-year chart and see the progression of this play. Really pretty sporadic volume leading into October. Stock price had slipped down, found a solid base at a penny. And then throughout the fourth quarter of 2012, just a huge boon in value all the way up to 6.5 cents, followed by a consolidation and a strong support level set up around 3.5 cents before another climb all the way up to 12. And now a retrace is followed back down to a strong support level at an old resistance point, with the candles making a nice move on Wednesday, just above that support level. So this is a play to keep an eye on, see if it's going to push, hold this 200-day, and break through that 50-day moving average. Now with the share price coming from the 12-cent highs, MACD is certainly retraced. See the MACD histogram bars moving back towards zero, then breaking through, saying that a bullish cross happened to the 12 passing through the 26 EMA. That's indicative of a trend shift for the chart. ADX is retraced from extreme levels back down to a pretty neutral reading. Readings below 20 are what's considered a trading pattern. What I'd look for in the future of that is for the ADX to move itself back upward, and for this green line, the positive DI, to move that direction as well, to signal bullish pressure in the direction of the chart. The money flow index, all three components retraced, but now have bounced back off of low levels. In bullish charts, the MFIs are over top of 50, showing that people are paying higher prices for the stock. And that's what I'd be looking for in the future, is to see all three components trending above 50 again. This is actually a real nice look at the accumulation distribution. See nice upward path, showing that there's been a nice amount of accumulation in the play. Shake and money flow gives a little bit of a different reading. Right now, right around zero. That says over the last 20 periods, buying and selling pressure is about equal. But I think it's kind of important to note that very little time below zero where selling pressure has been dominant. Commodity channel, just now moving its way back upward a little bit, holding a top negative 100. And that's a price-related type of indicator. Readings at zero indicate the price is at its 20-day mean. Full stow, it's a gauge of momentum. Just says over the last few days where there's been some selling pressure, momentum's come out of the play. Again, similar to other indicators, readings above 50 indicate bullish momentum. And the tricks is a very slow, triple exponentially smooth indicator. It's a gauge a trend like the MACD. Looks like it's getting ready to drop a bullish cross. A cross of this nature would be indicative of a bullish trend shift. Relative strength index. Hate to sound like I'm beating the same drum, but right now a pretty neutral reading. All three components right near 50. I want to see all three components trending over top of that mark to indicate that bullish momentum is being sustained in the play. Now the reason we're getting several neutral readings is because there was a lot of momentum in the play that fizzled back out as the stock price came back down. Then a nice little bump off a support level right there around 4.5 cents, right back up to the 50-day moving average at 6 cents, which was followed by another pullback back near that support level. I want to go ahead and identify that 6.5 cent mark as an area of resistance, because you can see not only is the price fighting it a little bit, but it's really some classic technical analysis, with this area being a resistance area several months ago, that when the stock price broke through it in classic TA fashion, that resistance is now serving as support. It also happens to correlate pretty closely with the 200-day moving average, this red line, and the resistance side of things correlates with the 50-day moving average, this blue line. So those are two key levels for this chart that I'd be watching. Now to the downside, if it breaks through, there is some more support right in through the area of 3.5 cents. But again, ideally, I'm looking for it to hold over top of this 200-day moving average. Bullish charts are holding over top of the 50 and 200-day, and those two moving averages will be trending upward. So to the south side, I'd be looking for this 4.5 cent mark to hold as support, to hold the price over top of the 200-day moving average. And to the north side, it can represent a pretty substantial breakout if it pushes back through that 6 cent mark and back through that 50-day moving average, because there's only a little bit of resistance that comes in play around 8 cents, with the primary resistance coming up more along the lines of 11 cents to try and poke through and make new highs. You can see that 11 cent mark over the last year has been a pretty tough area of resistance. Stock price hasn't been able to close above it. It only made a couple intraday moves to even breach that area. So I'd keep my focus in the short term really in this area, because if it breaks one way or the other, it can signal perhaps what's going to happen with this overall chart. Volume's not an issue, 3.7 million shares traded. That's plenty of liquidity, and as it turns out, probably a little bit slightly less than average. So what I look for is moves off support. I want to see buying pressure come in with increases in volume, and I'd really like to see that volume start to stair-step upwards so the chart could have a full head of steam to try and blow through that resistance and potentially try and move up towards the upper ends. Those are the type of things that I'd be looking for, but as always, it's merely my interpretation of the PHOT chart. Thank you for watching, and trade smart.